That's nice, Fluttershy said. But I still can't. Dash waved a leg around the splendor of the countryside. And would you believe my parents didn't want me down here? You were right, this place is wonderful. And if I hadn't been so obsessed with monsters, even after all the stuff you showed me, I would have found that out a lot faster. And besides, Dash took a leap forward, landing right next to Fluttershy. The socially nervous pony started to recoil on reflex, but stopped as Dash touched her foreleg to the back of her neck. That was about as far as she could reach anyway, given the significant height difference between the two. You've got me, haven't you? I'm not gonna make fun of you of your. I'm not gonna make fun of you or call you names. Hey, I know how it feels to have other ponies laugh at you. Fluttershy whimpered. Look, just give me the chance. If any pony tries to pick on you again, I'll set them straight. When camp's over, maybe you can get something going down here. So what'll it be, friend? Fluttershy's eyes, ears, muzzle, mouth, head, and general disposition perked up almost immediately. She looked Rainbow Dash right in the eyes, subconsciously searching for any sign of falsehood or treachery. The filly smiled back at her, a little nervous under her soul-penetrating glare, but otherwise still friendly and welcoming. The yellow Pegasus scanned Dash as deeply as she could, but could read absolutely nothing off. Rainbow Dash was telling the truth. She really did have a friend now. Oh, okay, Fluttershy said. We can go back, for now. I mean, perfect! Dash had barely finished her exclamation before darting off towards the sky. She returned 11 seconds later. Wow, Dash, you're slow. 11 seconds? Pfft. With several more tufts of cloud, all of which she loaded onto the rather ramshackle remnants of her former mobile Pegasus platform. Before long, the small cloud was now large enough to support Fluttershy's body. She even took time to prepare a set of reins for herself out of the clouds on a stick. The last step was to lower it down enough so Fluttershy could climb on board without having to use her wings. Her work was her work complete. Dash set herself on the ground again. "Oh my," Fluttershy muttered, mouth agape. You're really good at this." Dash blushed, scratching the back of her crest, or I guess she meant chest, trying to act as humble as possible. "Well, my mom used to make the same thing for me as before I could fly. I kind of picked it up from her. Now hop aboard and let's blow." She darted over to the front and grabbed the bridle between her teeth. The yellow Pegasus slowly walked to the waiting cloud chariot. As she set her first foot aboard, however, she heard a small chorus of caws and squeaks coming from behind. She turned to the remaining animals, all of whom were staring at the Pegasus with no measure of sadness. For just a moment, Fluttershy felt the conflict raging inside her once again. Would be so uneasy just to turn around and stay here, away from all the mess that awaited her back at camp. No pony would pick on her, and Dash could always visit. The Pegasus sighed. "I'm sorry, but I have to go home now." Her mood quickly chirped right back up. "But don't worry. I promise I'll be back soon. I just have to finish up a few things back at Cloudsdale, and then I can come here to stay." Her new friends cheered at the news. Even Rainbow Dash couldn't help but smile underneath the bridle. With one last push, Fluttershy pulled herself onto the cloud and laid down, trying to get as much rest as she could on her trip back. Her cargo secured, Dash reared up in the air, let out a whinny, and flew upwards. It crashed back down to the ground about 5 meters into the journey. "Wait, you crashed?" Scootaloo asked. Bits and pieces of her hay fries, mixed with conspicuous amounts of ketchup, splattered across the recently cleaned table, eliciting a groan from the two fillies in attendance. The other two fillies in attendance. Dash looked away sheepishly. "Well, yeah, as it turns out, little fillies aren't quite strong enough to carry a pony almost twice their size and a whole cloud. I kinda had to go back and get some of the Okoshes to help." "And were they mad?" Applebloom said. Fluttershy blushed from her seat, doing her best not to relive the day as she explained it. "Well, of course. We were a pair of campers well out of the camp bounds, after all. They had every right to worry." "The point is," Dash interjected, "we were scolded, banned from all camp activities for 3 days, and had to eat a gruel instead of applesauce at lunch. A few weeks later, camp was over, and Fluttershy and I went our separate ways." "But you've fought back. Uh, uh, but you I fought back, I guess. Sweetie Belle swallowed before restarting her sentence. But you got back together afterwards. I mean, you're still here, right? Dash sighed. Well, there was an opening for a weather pony around here, so that's why I moved to Ponyville. And then I ran into Fluttershy, and that's that. She really did not want to explain to the three fillies about dropping out of flight school, or the whole mess with Gilda, or how she moved to Ponyville only because she knew Fluttershy was already there and needed to get away to practice for the Wonderbolts. Stories like that were for big ponies. And what about your parents, Fluttershy? Scootaloo asked. Weren't they upset about your cutie mark? Actually, they weren't, Fluttershy said. They were a little disappointed that their daughter wouldn't turn out to be a fantastic flyer like they had dreamed. But they were still nice enough to get me a cottage out here in Ponyville. Helped me learn little bit about little creatures I would be taken care of, and even helped me with finances when I was first starting out here. Finances? Come on. How do they make money? Seriously, especially Fluttershy. Their curiosity sated for the moment. The three fillies quickly finished their lunches and rushed to the door. Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash calmly walked up to the two, silently giggling at their exuberance. So, what are you squirts going to do with the rest of your day? What else? Scootaloo asked. Cleaning houses didn't work, so it's off to trying something more crusading. We haven't finished yet. We haven't tried fishing yet, Applebloom said. I hear there's a monster of a fish down by the river. Then let's do it, Sweetie Belle added. She turned to the nearby adults. Oh, thanks for lunch. And the story, Scootaloo added. Come on, Crusaders, we got us a fish to catch. The three darted out the door and down to the town streets, no doubt to procure some fishing rods and bait. Fluttershy rolled her eyes sadly. I guess those girls will never learn. At least they're trying new things, Rainbow Dash said with a shrug. She looked up at the sky and saw the clouds awaiting her return. Well, looks like I gotta get back to work. The boss is really not happy that I blocked the sun over his daffodils yesterday. The stallion's making me pull double shifts for the next week, she snorted. What a slave driver. Well, I'd better let you get back to work, Fluttershy said. She looked up at the small houses she had set up for her animals' friends / tenants. I have a lot to do too. Mr. Nuts really needs to get his claws trimmed, and I have to take Angel to get his dental work done. Oh, it looks so painful whenever he chooses carrots. Wow, sounds like we got ourselves a full day. Well, see ya. Rainbow Dash took in a deep breath and started out the door, her wings flapping with all the training of a royal guard. She was halfway up towards the nearest target when she stopped and spun around. Sure enough, Fluttershy was still down there, watching her go from her doorstep. Smiling, Dash lowered herself back to the ground. She kicked her hooves against the dirt in a vain attempt to hide what she was wanting to say. Hey, about that story, Fluttershy said. It's okay. I don't mind you telling them things like that. It had a happy ending anyway, right? Yeah, it did, Dash said nervously. But that's not it. What I mean is, thanks. Fluttershy cocked her head slightly. For what? If it weren't for you, I would have never found how great things could be down here. Dash looked up at the sky, her eyes locking on her distant cloud mansion. Don't get me wrong, I love the sky. I always will. Flying fast and pulling tricks is what I live for. But if you hadn't helped me get over that crud I filled my mind with, I would have never met you, or Twilight, or Applejack, or even Rarity and Pinkie Pie. I wouldn't have had the wonderful life here that I do now. Slowly, Fluttershy closed her eyes and smiled. And if you haven't convinced me to go back, I would have never made it to Ponyville. I would still have been friendless pony who could barely fly. So really, it was you that helped me. The two stood there in an awkward silence, both silently heaping praise upon one another, until they finally broke down and grabbed each other in a hug. The two smiled, reaffirmed the friendship that they had forged so long ago. Whether it be Dash's frustrations with her friend's timidness, or Fluttershy's feelings about being crushed by an unwittingly cruel comment from Rainbow, nothing could tear those two apart. The end. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that story. It was really well written. On FibFiction, it has over 1,000 likes, 11,000 views. And I hope you enjoyed this long one, because I haven't been back in a while. I've been dealing with some family stuff, and I have high school coming up, so I'm doing some work for that. So I'm gonna try to get you some more stuff. I'm going to Europe for a few weeks next week or 2 weeks from now, and I'll try to get stuff back up then because I'll be relaxing a lot. I'll be visiting my grandparents in Sweden, and I'll have been having a lot of family time. But I'll have some downtime too, so I'll try to upload if I have good enough internet. For those of you who attended the live stream last week, I can't tell you how much that meant to me. It really made the experience that much greater. I had something to do during those 20 hours, just other than just sitting there watching MLP, even though that's enjoyable by itself. Yeah, again, I hope you enjoyed this long one. It's about 50 minutes long, so on my main channel will be in probably three or four parts. And I'll be getting you more fan fictions soon, I hope, and I'll try to stock up this July and August before I return to school. So again, bronies unite, and I'll see you guys later.